Good morning. It's August 18th. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm about ready to start work, but I wanted to get this thing out there for you guys and ladies that are listening to this or watching this. Um, this is going to be a short one, and it's pretty much going to be Father's Day themed. Um, in between reading whatever book I happen to be reading now, I can always pick up a real small one and either read it to my kids or read it to myself in between other activities. And I did receive two books this year for my Father's Day. Um, they're very light reading, obviously. One of them is actually a children's book that you would read to them in a way, which is funny because you're reading them a story about how much they love their dad. And then the other one's almost like a how-to book, but it's very like 30,000 feet. Um, it's more of a guidebook than a dad book, but it gets into both things. Um, I'm very much a fan of having books as a gift. I like to give people books, and when I receive them, it always makes the books a little bit more special. So I definitely always read a book that I am given, no matter what the topic is. And I'll put it on my shelf, and it will be displayed for anyone else who wants to see it. If it comes up in conversation, I'll show people, hey, give this a shot, and move from there. So, without further ado, there's two books here that I got for Father's Day, which I really do appreciate, and it will definitely go on the shelf that you see behind me. The first one's very simple. It's called My Dad by Susan Quinn and Marina Ruiz. And I know this will be washed out for a second until it focuses in, but that's pretty much what it looks like. It's a oversized hardcover book, very small. If I read this to my son, we'd probably be done in like 5 minutes, unless you really take your time, point to all the pictures, ask him questions, and make a game of it. Um, this book actually is mainly about how a little boy is saying, you know something, my dad might not be an astronaut, he might not be a superhero or a super spy, but my dad is fantastic. And let me tell you all the things that my dad does that makes him fantastic in my eyes. When they go shopping, they think they're in a jungle, and there's lions, and there's bears, and there's tigers, whatever else, and maybe some monkeys. When he makes their breakfast or he makes some cake, he always makes the best chocolate cake, which the kid loves the most. They go sliding down the hill when it's winter in their sled. He reads the best bedtime stories. My dad's utterly fantastic. So it's just a nice little, hey, if your son loves you and you read him this story, you'll kind of like feel a little love between you just that much more, which is fantastic. Um, the funny part about this book, and this is where my dark, cynical side comes into play, is it is a book about the dad, but the mother isn't even mentioned once. Not even like a picture. Um, I was actually laughing because it's almost as if you made a narrative saying, well, what if the mother died during childbirth and the kid never even knew who she was? So therefore, it's a single parent home and dad has to do everything. Therefore, that's why he's the best dad ever. I'm not trying to go dark, and I'm definitely not making light of the book. It's just one of those things that after you're done appreciating it, my mind just goes a couple extra steps further. Go, I wonder if. Um, but again, nice small book, short book. It's a kid's book. I do like it, and I do appreciate actually receiving it as a gift. It will certainly go on my shelf, and it will be read more in the future. The next one I got on the same day was almost like a how-to book. Um, this is the book you give your dad. And let's see who wrote this one. I'm not seeing an author on this. It's probably on the inside somewhere. Um, oh, here it is. Illustrations by Andrew Janik, text by Matt Goulet. So this is the book you give your dad, everything an awesome father wants to know. Um, again, very short, and it just has little how-tos or kind of dad stuff. Like, for instance, they do a whole page when you're trying to wash out certain stains. There's puke, blood, crayon, mud. Not trying to be rhyming here, but it's little things that you can do. When should you dab? When should you use a cleaner? When is it just warm soap and water? There are things here like, hey, if you're going to go camping one day, here's some essential supplies you should take with you. There's even a page on here of your James Bonds over the years, and it lists what they are, maybe some weaknesses or strengths of each and every one of them. Um, and then there's things that aren't just so much dad as just like man stuff. Like if you're going to have a certain entertainment system, this is what you should probably set up. Or if you're going to go out to the restaurant and order a steak, you should know what pieces of steak come from which parts of the cow. And it goes through that kind of stuff. In fact, if you're going to do the steaks at home and you have a grill, is it charcoal or gas? And they give you pros and cons to each. And spoiler alert, it does say things like, hey, if you're using gas, you're cheating. But not a problem. So it kind of has like a little how-to book. It's like 100 pages, but all the pages are, big pictures, small print, or small amount of print. So when it goes through something, I think I blew through this in like an hour while I was waiting for my wife to get finished with something. So it was nice to just pick up. It was light. It was funny. And it just talked about different things like, oh, if you're a dad that goes to sporting events, here's what a dad typically looks like at a sporting event. And it kind of broke down all like the outfit, all the technology they bring, things that they want to bring up against the ump or ref or something like that. So it was a fun little thing. So, bottom line, books are a great gift. Dad books can be appreciated by a dad. I certainly personally like it a lot better than the T-shirts like "World's Greatest Dad" or a mug or something like that. So these are always a joy. So there you go. That's today's installment. It is Father's Day books from 2022. Enjoy. Take care.